the things, Lynda, that I really kind of felt going through the whole book is that, I mean, you're pretty explicit about this at the end, but it's kind of implicit through the whole thing, that which one of these scenarios plays out, whether we are literally feel more dislocated, more fragmented, indeed more anxious, and you have a lot of evidence in the book, as we know that, you know, human anxiety, at least in the developed world, has been going up, happiness has been going down. But really the theme of the book is which of these roads we go down, that one or one where we feel more connected, more empowered, more free. At the end of the day, that turn in the road is fundamentally about values. It's about whether we have the courage as individuals to say, you know, no, I won't live in a world of instant distractions. I will take the time to focus, to build mastery. No, I won't be satisfied with the transactional relationships you get online. I will invest in the personal networks and the mentoring and so on. No, I won't be satisfied with a primarily materialistic view on self-worth, but I'll really invest in activities and so on that do good and build, if I can almost say it, my spiritual capital as well as my intellectual and other capital. I mean, is that kind of a fair thing? Are these roads really, is that really what's going to be the deciding factor, kind of the values we bring to these choices?
Well, I'm listening to the point, Gary, and I think it's such an important point. You know, one of the things that happened in terms of the industrialization of work is that quite a lot of the values got squeezed out of it. And you and I, who've been teaching at business schools for many years now, have always felt that we needed to bring values back into management and values back into leadership. I mean, goodness me, there's been some terrible examples recently of leaders operating with very, very low standards of personal behavior. And I think you're right. I mean, I think in the end, the book says that you have to make choices about your habits and about what you value. I mean, I think it's habits as well as values, by the way. And I say that. Somebody wrote to me yesterday about the book and said, you know, Lynda, you talk about fragmentation, but, you know, why haven't you given us more detail about how not to have a fragmented life? Well, I mean, frankly, I don't need to tell anybody how not to have a fragmented life. They just have to decide to switch their BlackBerry off. And that's a habit. And the habit really, so I don't think any of this is particularly difficult. You just have to do it. And you have to have the values around that helps you produce those habits. And I agree with you that at the end of the day, and this is, you know, Kostenbahn's argument as well. At the end of the day, we've got to realize that one of the things that separates us from cats and dogs is that we have a choice and there are consequences of those choices. And the choices that we make, and we also have a sense of, we have a willpower, which is why I came back to this notion of will, which Gary, you will remember our great friend Samantha Ghoshal talked about in his very last book, that actually we have to be more willful. We have to be more willful about how we want to live our lives, the habits that we're going to, you know, engage in on a day-to-day basis, but indeed the values that are at the heart of what we do. And I feel, you know, one of the challenges I think for business schools and indeed for organizations is to help people think about the lives that they want and think about the values that are going to embroider those lives, the values that are going to make those lives rich and fruitful.